Today we are going to divide the ventilator part into oxygenation and ventilation. These are the two main components. So whenever you think of the vent, think on two terms, oxygen and carbon dioxide, which is the ventilatory part. For oxygenation, the basic requirement is to have an alveolus that is open. It means it's filled with gas and blood flowing on the other side. That's all that's needed. In a normal individual, your oxygen enters at 75% from the right side and leaves at 100%. What keeps the alveolus open is something we need to understand. Alveolus has a tendency to collapse for two reasons. You have your collagen and elastin fibers that are trying to collapse the alveolus, and also there is surface tension here at the air-water interface. So it has a natural tendency to collapse, and two things prevent that collapse. One is your chest wall has a tendency to expand, so you have a negative intrathoracic pressure that literally is pulling the alveolus to stay open. And the second part is surfactant. Surfactant decreases the surface tension. The way you can think graphically is this is the pressure and this is the volume. When the balloon is completely collapsed, you increase the pressure, it pops open. And once you open it, it's much more easier to inflate. And then if you increase the pressure too much, you hyperdistend it. This is a normal alveolus. If you have no surfactant or low surfactant, you will need a lot more pressure to open it. And even after you open it, it takes more pressure to increase the size. So this is the abnormal, low compliance. And you never want the alveolus to go beyond these points. For this particular alveolus, you don't want it to reach here, the pressure. This is your opening pressure. Because if you have an alveolus that is completely collapsed, your blood is going to reach at 75% to the alveolus and it's going to exit at 75%, and you can give all the FiO2 you want. You can't improve the oxygenation because it can't get through. It's going to mix with the 100% and decrease the SAT. But we also set an FiO2. How does increasing oxygen work then? It shouldn't really work, right? Because we are not thinking quantitatively. Let's say this is a completely collapsed alveolus. Here you're going to enter at 75 and leave at 75. Let's say an alveolus that is smaller than normal. Here you have oxygen, but when you're on room air, 21% is oxygen, 79 is nitrogen. And you will increase the SAT, but there is not enough oxygen molecules to reach all the way to 100%. So, and then you have the normal alveolus where you're going to enter at 75 and leave at 100. In this scenario, if you increase the FiO2 to 100%, this is going to reach 100% SAT. You're not going to make a difference to this one. This, you have to increase the pressure to pop open. So this is PEEP. PEEP will do this. It will open and now your O2 will increase, let's say 98 or so. FiO2 works on this smaller alveolus that hasn't fully collapsed. So in any vent, you are going to set PEEP. This is to pop open those alveolus that are collapsed, to open them, also called recruitment. And you're also going to set FiO2. FiO2 is for those alveoli that are open, but they are small. You're going to increase the amount of FiO2. So 21% to whatever FiO2 you set. I just said 100 so that it's easier to understand. So these two are the components of any ventilatory mode, and that deals with the oxygen part. CPAP is just essentially PEEP only. Or when you say BiPAP, let's say you say 15/5, that 5 is the same as your PEEP. And then on the vent, you always set PEEP and FIO2 on the vent. So that covers the oxygenation part. You have to figure out why is your patient hypoxic. If you have an X-ray that is very abnormal, like wide consolidations, those are de-recruited. So this is what you're dealing with. And there will be partially open alveoli that are smaller. You'll be dealing with FiO2. So for every patient, of course, give FiO2. But you have to give positive pressure, that is PEEP, so that you recruit these collapsed alveoli. Why they collapse? Because whenever you have inflammation, like you aspirate with the inflammation, surfactant goes away, decreased surfactant. That leads to decreased compliance. That means you need a higher pressure, as mentioned here, to increase, so that you can open the alveoli. Hope this helps.